Nice idea on the clear. I think you tried to pass it here. Very nice idea on the pass. I don't mind it. Since you know that there is, you see somebody, you see your teammate on the backboard. So his last man, you're second, and Horizon is first. So it's okay. Doesn't matter. You missed the pass.
No, I pulled the pass. I just didn't have enough boots.
Yeah. He asked me
That's
to
my bad.
pass.
That's my bad.
Nice touch. Okay, here you have time, Arcane. Okay, so here you see, okay, Reptic goes for a challenge. It bounces out towards you. You have time, right? I know that you're afraid somebody's gonna challenge you, right?
Yeah.
But you have time. Try to utilize it. So you have many options here. You have option number one, which is what you did here. Just hit the ball towards their corner. But they can easily just read the situation. What I recommend, right, is if you're like, okay, crap, somebody's gonna challenge me, right? What you can do, first of all, Horizon is rotating fine. You just start his rotation here, and I recommend Reptic do the same. Immediately rotate back, right? Since I'm in this position, I don't know how much boost each player has, right? And you're last man here. So now again, we'll go back to what I discussed before. You're last man. Will you win this challenge 100%? Yes, you will. It's very clear. You'll touch this ball before anybody else. Now, even if you win this ball, right? Again, we'll go back to situation number 2. Okay, you can win the challenge. After you win the challenge, by you hitting this ball, right, into their corner, will there be like a lot of benefit, right? So you have to start like, this is why I meant to like try to imagine the play before it happens. So best thing you could have done here is you could have hit it as hard as you can towards the corner, right? But you hit it a little bit low. You flew a little bit too high and you hit it a little bit low. So I don't mind that you went for this at all. Reptic should immediately rotate behind, right? So again, the rotation depends on the boost. So let me zoom out a little bit of this play. So for example, I want to see where Horizon is right now. Okay. So the reason I say Reptic should rotate again behind you or back post, since the ball's direction is on the right side of the field, you always rotate opposite side of the ball. So let's say Horizon got a little bit bullied. Let's say he wants to go 100 boost. He wants to go get 100 boost. So Reptic can easily, for example, Horizon will go, he'll go get the corner boost, and then Reptic can come from behind you and he can follow up your touch. So the ideal situation here is if you're afraid somebody's gonna challenge you, so we'll go back a little bit. You just single jump into the ball and cushion the ball. So up until here, without flipping into it, just keep it close to you, right? Keep it, cushion it. It's like a teddy bear. Cushion the ball, right? So if you cushion the ball, if you hit it as light as possible, if you put like as little as for the Octane, it's a little bit easier since our wheels are little like popped out. So we can touch it with our wheels and we can get a soft touch that we can follow up, right? But for you have to like use a little bit like the corner of your car. Anyways, it doesn't matter how you get it, as long as you get it. You get a real nice soft touch in which, for example, it will go a little bit away from you, but you can easily follow up your own touch by flipping into it, right? As you know, when you flip, you're locked in a certain motion from the time you start your flip all the way to the landing, right? You cannot change direction. You cannot go right. You cannot go left. You cannot do a U-turn. You cannot control. Basically, keep in mind that as long as you flip into the ball, you will not have any control of your own car's direction. So if you see here, you flip. That was a nice, I guess, that was a cut by Reptic. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there. Nice rotation. There we go. Nice rotation, both of you. You did the correct thing. Since Reptic is behind you, he should rotate back post. And since you are in front, you should rotate front post. Which you did right here. So again, it's okay. Nice follow-up. Nice touch. So I want to go back to Reptic's perspective here. Okay, yeah, he wanted to touch it, make it awkward for the opponent, so I don't blame him really. It ends up working as like a back pass. Okay, here, if Reptic was here, I would have recommended him not to go for this big boost. Why? Because there was a small chance, for example, that if Horizon loses the challenge, and again, there is a chance that you as well, Arcane, can lose the challenge, right? Since both of you are first and second man. So what I recommend, for example, if you find yourself in a situation similar to Reptic, always prioritize position over everything, right? Yes, have trust in your teammates, but there's a statement I say to everyone, to all ranks, all players. and this both applies both to your teammates and your opponents. Okay, so always trust that your teammate will win a challenge, or he will touch the ball, or he will pass the ball. Let's say your teammate will get the perfect touch, okay, and at the same exact time expect that your teammate will miss the ball, or he will mistouch it, or he will mechanical error will happen. So you position yourself in a way where if he ends up missing the ball, you got him covered, or if he ends up winning the ball, you got him covered by being prepared for a pass or going for a bump, or whatever the situation requires you to be. Okay?
Sorry. Where did the
Replica to go.
Oh, okay.
He's not work at 6 in the morning.
I was going fine because I disconnected. I had to
Get,
restart my internet.
get good internet manager, Mr. Sir Manager. So what I recommend here, immediately just pads and rotation back rather than going for this big boost, because Horizon, you see, like there's a chance this could have gone over both of your heads if we go back to your perspective, right? So here, Horizon, what I mean, okay, again, if you have any doubt that you're gonna lose this challenge, you have any doubt, like you're in an awkward situation, you're not sure you're gonna hit this ball in the most ideal way, which in this situation is clearing it to their own corner. For example, the ideal situation is here, right? This is non-ideal because it will be a pass, and even anywhere towards your own corner is non-ideal because anything can happen. You know, somebody might own goal, somebody might miss the ball or whatnot. So the most ideal situation here is get a touch outfield. Okay, so here, anytime you feel awkward, immediately it's okay, rotate away, literally leave the ball. This is literally, when I tell a lot of people, they're like, what do you mean leave the ball? It's okay, you have two teammates behind you, essentially, right? Since you don't see any of them on your screen, there should be at least one behind you, right? So if you feel like, okay, I cannot touch this ball, I feel really awkward, I'm in an awkward situation, you have good amount of boost, so it's okay. Like, just rotate out, go all the way back from behind. Or what you can do as an optional is you can position yourself upfield to where, for example, if the opponent gives away the ball for free, you have somebody from the front post or back post clear the ball to you, essentially passing, and then you guys could act as a counter attack, right?
Yeah.
So you could leave this ball. You have many options. You can rotate back. You can leave this ball, go upfield. Your teammate can clear it. You know, it can act as a fake, because nobody's gonna think you're gonna leave the ball, right? So it's gonna be kind of like an unexpected play.
They also have 4 players.
They also have 4 players. What do you mean?
Look at the picture. There's 3 players. Oh,
Yeah.
No, hold on. No, it's 2 different names. That's my bad.
Oh yeah. Their names are like merged together.
Yeah,
It's
I thought it was one.
kind of weird. Yeah, kind of weird.
So hard to focus with such a long name.
And one other thing I would say is anytime you are not facing the ball, right? So in this situation, you could turn, right? But this means you're cutting. Anytime you're not facing the ball, so the ball is the ball. I guess it's coming in your direction, but the nose of your car, the front of your car is not facing the ball, right? So you have to turn and then you have to hit. So keep in mind that anytime you turn, you're cutting, essentially. It doesn't matter, even if it's a small turn, you're cutting into the play. So anytime you see you're facing away from the ball, it means just if you find yourself in an awkward situation, leave the ball. Obviously, every situation is a little different, especially as last man. But here you're first man, right? Or maybe, I guess you could say, yeah, you're first man in this situation. It's okay, you have a second man, and the Reptic will rotate. Eventually, he will rotate back as well. Nice touch by Arcane. Again, I recommend the same thing as mentioned here before. Okay, you're going, take a second, right? Look at the opponent, for example, right here. So sometimes if you want to judge the distance between the ball on the car, do you see the little white thingy underneath the ball?
Yeah.
You can use this as a distance judge. If you use this, you can easily tell who will be much closer. Now it's here, it's pretty close, right? But again, it's completely different because this image is still, right? We don't know how much momentum this guy has, how much speed he has, so we can't really judge it for you. But I don't mind, again, that you went for this since you have a teammate behind you. But again, I said you should always try to envision the play. Okay, for example, now Arcane went for this ball, right? It's a little awkward. It will take him 1-2 seconds to recover and maybe be ready for a pass or maybe rotation back, depends on the situation, okay? But here you need to be like, okay, if I go for this ball with the limited amount of boost I have, if I win this ball, Right? The last man, he cannot push since both of you are up ahead. Right? So it's out of the question that you will pass it to the guy behind you because it will be very risky. You could do it, but it's a high risk, high reward situation. Not even high reward because the last man might score or no. And since there is one opponent here who just challenged the ball, and one in front of you, and one somewhere to your left, you don't know where he is. Okay, so what I recommend here is you can just fake the challenge. I did not see, like, I saw very good ground plays from you. You had soft touches and you had nice ideas on the flicks, but I did not see a single fake challenge from any of you guys, like either offensive or defensive. You anytime you guys went for the ball, you went for it, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. But always try to be unpredictable, right? There is 3 types of challenges. There is the normal rush challenge. There is the fake challenge, right? Sorry, there is 4 types of challenges. There is the rush. There is fake challenging. There is being patient, like playing shadow, being patient, like rotating back, let the opponent shoot and then react. And then the 4th type of challenging, which I guess I can't really call it a type, it's hesitation. Right? People hesitate. They're like, should I rush? Should I wait? Should I rush? Should I wait? So what I recommend is between the 3 different types, try to mix it up. Try to, like, one time rush, one time fake, one time play it smart and stay on shadow defense, see what they will do. And again, anytime you have a single bit of hesitation, you're like, will I really win this ball? If you have 1% hesitation, since you know there is somebody behind you, immediately start rotating behind him. Because this guy is gonna be a monkey, is gonna shoot the ball anyways. So you be the smarter player. They end up missing the ball. Okay, I want to look at it from Raptic's perspective. Okay, a little bit back. Yeah, there we go. So you see, it does a nice pop-up. Above 1, above 2. Let me see how he rotates back. Yeah, I guess rotation's fine. Very close. Okay, so fine. So far, so good in terms of rotation. Clean. Very nice hit. So I'll go back a little bit. I'll switch to Horizon's perspective. Again, Horizon, you see, you're not facing the ball. So anytime you're not facing the ball, you're cutting into the play. So you have no idea. You know that there is somebody on your right side, generally. You don't know where he is, right? But you know you have a teammate there, right? And he should be there. He's rotating properly. So anytime you're turning into the ball, keep in mind you're cutting position. So what you can do here, if you're not sure, for example here, okay, let's say you're not sure if you have a teammate behind you or not. Right here, for just a single second, you can switch from ball cam to car cam. You can check that really Arcane wants to go for this. If he wants to go for this, for example, sometimes it could be possible that his recovery is slow and is going for the big boost all the way at the back, and then you can cut no issue. But as you can see here, he's clearly wants to go for this. So what you can do is you can support him by playing in the back post just in case it goes over Arcane's head or he loses the 50-50 or whatever happens.
I probably should have gone backward.
So one thing Raptic loves to do, he loves to get those tiny touches. And it's good, it's unexpected, but he overdoes it a little bit. Like here, he has boost, right? He just saw 2 of you jump, right? So both of you, like you and Horizon, have double committed. So his priority right now, generally in Rocket League, like there is 2 things. You either get scored on or you score. That's literally how Rocket League works. So you should prioritize. What do you think? What do you guys think is more important? Not conceding or scoring a goal? Sorry, what did you say? Your voice was so low.
Not concede.
Exactly, yeah. So what he should be, as soon as he sees both of you jumping, right? Horizon is not really in the ideal situation. He needs a little bit of like 2-3 seconds turn around, you know. So what you should do here is immediately rotate back post, because he has no idea right? If he switch cameras here, if he switch cameras, by switch cameras I mean like press on L3 and look behind him. If he is certain that nobody's gonna go for this ball, then I don't mind him cutting. But here he really can't tell, right? You really can't tell that if somebody from the opponent's side is gonna challenge this ball or no, right? And Arcane, and I recommend any of you guys call out your teammate. It's okay, right? So for example, Arcane, you're in this position, right? If you want to, for example, let's say you had boost in this position, okay? I don't mind you calling out Reptic. Tell him, Reptic, I want to follow it up, so he leaves the ball, okay? For example, if you had boost in this situation. So now. Yeah, so here if he started rotating earlier, Horizon would have a teammate now behind him. So rather going for this touch, because again here you can't really tell from like Reptic's perspective. You can't tell if somebody's gonna challenge this ball or no. So this touch, even if he touched it, maybe he could have outplayed the opponent. But again, it's not worth it. Right? It's not worth. Again, not conceding is more important than scoring. So here he starts rotating now. They end up almost getting a really nice shot, but it ends up missing anyways. And one more thing here. I understand Reptic why he wants to rush this, right? Maybe the opponent will come somewhere from the left side, right, and attack this ball. So this is why I always encourage people to switch cameras a lot, like switch it every 5 seconds, every 10 seconds. Collect as much information as you can. Right, and Horizon here, for example, this is why I say like even if you try to relay as much information to each other as possible. So for example, Horizon, you go for this, he ends up missing. Nice cover by you. You can see that nobody's going for this ball, so it can be a Reptic time. You have time, take your time. So there's no need for him to rush this challenge, right? So if you see, he just rushes it and he pops it up, and now he's in an awkward situation where he has to use boost to try to get another touch for this ball.
Yeah.
There we go, nice rotation. What I recommend here is he went back, he got the boost, right? If you were in his position, if you were in his shoes, hit the brakes here. It doesn't matter. Sit in the back post, right? See what happens, because there's a chance Arcane is, from the looks of it, Arcane is in a very awkward situation, right? He's facing away from the ball, right? If you switch back to his perspective. He's facing away, he has to turn into the ball, okay? And Horizon, what I recommend, again, the ball is on the right side of the field. You immediately start rotating opposites, so you don't bump your teammate by accident, or you don't hit the ball by accident as you're rotating back, okay? So here if we see, it's okay, it happens, awkward situation. So this is why I say anytime you have a single shot of doubt, and you know you're not last man, so for example here, Arcane's like, oh crap, I'm not really sure if I can hit this ball or not. If you have any doubt, immediately turn around. Since you know one teammate is here, and obviously you are second man, so you should have the trust that, okay, I have a teammate behind me. So it's better to leave an awkward ball rather than trying to hit it and having a possibility of a good touch, right? Here we don't work on possibilities. We try to control the outcome, right? So the more we can control the outcome of each play, the better the position will be at. Right, because we can be like, okay, by you turning around, Reptic can have a much better touch, and then you guys can start your counter attacking rather than Arcane going for this ball and maybe possibly touch it. Right, we don't know how he's gonna touch it, because even if you think, if you go back to the point I said, even if you envision this play, right, if you're like, okay, I'm gonna envision this play, like even if you envision it, it's not really that like you can't really do much. Let's say best case scenario is you go somehow quickly turn your car with power slide and use all your boost to hit this ball. Horizon's already rotating back and you have a teammate back post, so it's not really worth going for this ball. So same thing, I recommend Horizon here as before. If you just sat in the back post, if you don't want to lose your momentum, there's another tip I can give you guys. For example, let's say you don't want to hit the bricks because you don't want to lose momentum. So you can see the ball is a little bit far, right? If you don't want to lose momentum, you can rotate inside of the goal. You can come like this, rotate. And then, for example, if your teammates win the challenge, you can go upfield. And then if your teammate, as you're looping, your teammate have lost the challenge, then you can sit back post, or you can turn back post and then challenge the ball. But by pushing forward, now he's kept himself in a very awkward situation. He didn't expect you to miss, right? That's why I said before that you should always trust your teammate that they will get the perfect touch, and at the same time be like, okay, they will like expect them to miss the ball. So you position yourself in a way just in case if they miss the ball, you're in a good defensive position, or if they end up hitting the ball really nicely, they end up winning the challenge, you can easily push up and support them, whether that's being ready for a pass or going for a bump or just positioning yourself, pressuring the opponents. It can be whatever. Ends up missing. Has a nice touch. Yeah. It's okay, it happens. Nice rotation. So if you can start developing the habit of every 2-3 seconds, right? If you can start looking at each other's cars, right? Because in my opinion, I don't know if you guys are gonna agree with me, but I see Rocket League, like if you ask me to break down Rocket League, especially threes, I would say it's 50% collecting information, 25% rotating and being in the proper position, and then the other remaining 25% is mechanics or execution, basically. So you collect the information, you position yourself correctly, and then you execute, whether that's on defense or on offense. So information is king, right? A lot of people don't see this aspect of the game. The more information you collect, and the more information you put out there for you and your teammates, that's why you hear the pros just constantly talk. Yeah. So
how do you free cam in keyboard, like with keyboard and mouse?
I'll have to check for you. Honestly, I have no idea. Since I'm controller. So the thing is,
I use my scroll mouse to look backwards. That's the only thing I know.
You can change. Do you have buttons on your mouse by chance?
Yeah.
You can configure one of those buttons if up to your liking. You can either keep it keys on your keyboard or buttons on your mouse. Up to you, whatever is comfortable for you. Play around, mess with it a little bit, see what's comfortable, see what's not. And yeah, that's that, bro. Hopefully, if I'm overcomplicating anything, guys, just let me know so I can try to explain it better. You guys have any questions so far?
Good.
Okay, thank you. So here, Horizon, what I recommend is you can clearly see who's closer to the ball. Again, you need to take a second and you need to look at your teammate, Reptic. He's closer to the ball, right? So unless he says, I'm not gonna touch this, you should not go for this ball. You should just sit in the back post, just in case your teammate ends up missing, or just in case some unexpected thing happens.
I honestly think he called he was going for.
No,
sure.
no one called. We
Yes.
had like a few seconds of silence and then we picked it back up.
Okay, you guys will get used to it eventually, right? You guys are already much better than the first day. Like first day you guys played together, like I would say like 4 times better, 4x. So you guys will keep evolving day by day, so don't worry about it.
I've been playing with Reptic like all night, so
Hey yo, you've been playing with Reptic all night?
in game.
Hey yo, bro, what have you been doing with Reptic?
For fuck's sake.
Okay. So your rotation is fine. Again, Horizon, if you see yourself low boost, very awkward, if you have a teammate behind you, you're not really sure how this is gonna bounce. As soon as you turn the nose of your car away from the ball is not yours anymore, right? You should be facing the ball. So if we switch here to your teammate's perspective, you see he's facing the ball, so this is his ball, Arcane's ball to go for, right? You should not, neither you nor Reptic should go for this. It's okay, it's first man, it challenges it. Here, Arcane, you see how you twist and turn? So what I recommend here is just sit at the back post, no worries. Just sit here, no need to. If you want to go collect pads and then rotate back, I don't mind. So for example, you can...
Yeah, that was my
you
idea.
can 1, 2, yeah, you can 1, 2, but always always like know your position, your last man. So always rotate outwards toward the back post. Never rotate inwards. Like don't rotate into the front post. Don't rotate into the middle of the goal, right? Because the whole thing you're trying to do here is you're trying to preserve boost, right, as well as momentum and speed. So by doing, keep in mind that the bigger the loop you do, the more momentum you maintain, and the sharper the turn or the loop you do, the more speed or the less speed you will keep. Again, you have time here. There is no need for you to flip into this ball, right? So same thing as before is when you flip into the ball, right? You put power into it. That doesn't only mean that the ball will go further and further away from you, right? But it also means that if it ends up hitting a wall or a ceiling or whatever it ends up hitting, it will bounce off much. Like the more power you keep, the stronger the bounce will be, which also translates to the further away it will go from you and the less control you have of the ball. You see, you guys are doing very tight rotations. Like, let each other breathe, right? Take pads, do big loops. So for example, here the optimal rotation would have been, let me go back a little bit. So okay, you went as first man, okay? So Reptic immediately in this position, you see, it's okay, he's in an okay position. You see, he touches it slowly so he can follow it up. So far, so good, okay? So we'll switch to Horizon. Horizon position, so far, so good as well. He knows that there is somebody coming from behind him, so he's going front post, no problem. Now here, you should sit in the front post. You should not come out, Horizon. I recommend it here. Reptic ends up winning the challenge. Very nice. Just in case. Why? Because if you, for example, let's say you're in this position, right? Just in case Reptic lost this challenge, you could have, yes, he could have lost it, for example, in a way where it would have bounced here, but it could have also bounced like, or the challenge could have gone over your head, right? And you might have tried to go over the backboard and touch it. Like, there's so many possibilities that can happen that you really can't predict. But what you can do is position yourself in a way that no matter what happens, you can cover all outcomes, or you can cover like 95% of the outcomes, rather than covering 80%, rather than covering 60%. Okay, it's okay so far. So remember when I said when you're not facing the ball, it's unless you're last man, you should not go for this ball. Right, even as last man, you can, for example, let's say you had no teammates behind you, I would recommend you be more patient, let them just throw away the ball. But here, you know that you have somebody behind you, you're not really sure if they're back post or front post. Let's say when I try to explain situations, when I try to explain replay analysis, I always go under the assumption that you guys cannot communicate with each other. So the only way of knowing each other's position is by looking at each other. So if you guys can develop this habit, right, with plus comms, you guys will be indestructible. You'll have perfect rotations. So here, again, you're not facing the ball. This is not your ball to go for. Here, I understand why you wanted to hit it, but here you have time, right? You have 0 boost. So again, you have 2 options here. If you're afraid this guy is going to hit it with his ass, right, you can just single jump, and then it will pinch somewhere upwards, right? Or you can just drive into it, keep your car in a way, stick your car to the ball, to where if this guy challenges the ball, you guys will pinch it anyways, okay? Or if you're scared that this guy is going to challenge, right? Again, same thing. Now you know that one guy is behind you and one guy is rotating, okay? Since you're the only one on screen, you can only see one orange car, which is yourself, okay? So here you have many options you can do, but you're limited due to your boost usage, right? Or sorry, due to your boost. So what you can do here is just single jump into the ball, where if this guy challenges the ball, you can 50-58, right? By single jumping, not by flipping, because maybe he will fake challenge, you never know. Or you can just drive up to the ball and just stay behind it. Be as annoying as possible. Stick to the ball like your glue, like your gorilla glue. So they're just free again. Try to not give away possession of the ball for free. Okay, so let me switch perspectives. Nice follow-up. Okay.
Can I just say something that really helped me when I was getting coached?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of, say you're rotating back, but you've got like, well, hang on, that's bad. Just say you're rotating back or you're pushing forward and you're waiting mid or whatever. Instead of tapping boost, just flipping. Unless you're boosting into more boost.
That's again situational, you know. So for example, I
Yeah.
see a lot of people, they take 100 boost and then they use 40 boost to get into the play. So what I usually, the piece of advice I give is, if you're outside of the play, do not use any boost because it doesn't matter, right? Since you're not in a position, by outside of the play, what do I mean? Is like you're not in a position to make either a defensive or offensive touch. Okay? So I see a lot of people go all the way to the corner, take 100 boost just to use 50 or 40 to get into the play. So if you've taken the big boost, at least what you can do is you can flip, like you said, or wave dash in when you're outside of the play. But once you're inside of the play, I always say never flip, ever. Maybe wave dash depending on the situation, but never flip. Why? Because for example, let's say a challenge is going to happen in mid-air, okay, anywhere in the air. If you flip, right, for example, you expect the ball. I will draw a diagram here, hopefully, so I can clear up. Ignore my Picasso drawing. So for example, this is a beauty. So for example, let's say a challenge is happening for you guys offensively, so in mid-air. So this guy is challenging, okay? So this is you guys attacking, and this is the ball, okay? So let's say a player is inside the play here. Let's say he predicts, actually let me put it a little bit back. Let's say he predicts his teammates going to win this, right? He's technically in the area where he can get an offensive touch. If he flips, okay, into while he's inside the play, up from the direction, from the moment he starts his flip all the way until he lands, he has no control of his car's direction. He cannot turn right, he cannot turn left. I see a lot of people flip and then the ball goes to a direction they did not expect. Right? It either goes like this or it pings all the way to the corner. That's why I recommend anytime you're inside the play, never flip. So if anything happens, you can easily change your car's direction, left, right, to hell, to the heaven, I don't care. So you can just change the direction of your car. So that's why I usually never flip. And if you focus on pro play, they rarely flip, especially in offense. In defense, sometimes they do. They don't have boost, so they flip to the back post. That's fine. But in offense, on offensive, anytime they're attacking, they never flip ever. No split flip, no diagonal, nothing. Sometimes they wave dash or wall dash, but they never flip ever. Did that clear up your question, or?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, I can hear. I like you kind of like you went. Let me know what your thought process here was. Did you want to fake the challenge? Were you not sure if you're gonna hit it in a certain way?
I was kind of cautious about the preparation.
Yeah, it's okay. I don't mind that you try to take your time. Again, you try to be patient, very smart, right? You didn't rush in because you could have lost the challenge. So what I recommend here is you just don't flip or don't jump, right? Because again, try to cushion the ball as much as possible. So the best way to cushion the ball is just by not jumping or flipping, just driving into the ball or hitting the brakes and then let the car slowly hit your car. Let the ball slowly hit your car. And then second is like the least amount of power. As you can see here, because you jumped, you didn't really hit it away super far, but you still hit it away from yourself, right? So the whole point here is control. So I don't mind that you went for the fake challenge. Very nice, you switched it up. But what I recommend here is you should have not jumped. You should have just stayed without flipping, without jumping. So you can, why? Because it would have bounced similarly. It would have bounced the same way. It would have bounced this direction. And keep in mind, when you jump or when you flip, you're in mid-air. So it takes you 1 to 2 seconds to land, right? So in those 1 to 2 seconds, the ball goes, you see how far the ball goes away from you. So Reptic notices this, and now he has to go for a 50-50. Nice idea on the pass. Quick question, boys. Do you play replay with limited or unlimited boost?
Limited.
Yeah, that's good. Because I see a lot of you, a lot of the times, you guys love the big boost. A lot. Especially Reptic. He loves the big boost too much. So I see you guys go for the pads sometimes, but try to force yourself to always get pads. Always get pads as much as you can. Force yourself. Because a lot of people come and ask me the question, I want to play faster. I feel like I'm playing slow. All the players are faster than me. How can I get faster? It's literally, it's all in the, not only in the boost management, it's also about the boost pathing, like the small pads, right? A lot of people, the reason, for example, going for the big boost is bad, not only because you are extracting yourself away from the play, right? By going all the way to your corner, not only, especially in a 2v2, it shows. In 3s, it doesn't show as much since there are 3 people, but in 2v2, or even in 3s, for example, since we're playing 3s, I'll use the example of 3s. If, for example, you go all the way to the big boost, you extract yourself away from the ball. So, for example, if your first man and second man lose their challenges, right? The opponents essentially have a 3v1 or they have a 2v1, right? So what you should do is don't push up too forward, don't stay too much in defense. Stay in between. So for example, what I recommend Arcane here is I don't really blame you, didn't have much boost. But here you saw that there is no boost, but you still went over it, right? Because of pure muscle memory. Your muscles are used to it. So as soon as you see you have no boost here, as soon as you switch, don't waste any time. Immediately turn to the pads. You see, you waste like 2-3 seconds here. A nice pad collection. But again, you see too far from the play, where if something happens, you can't really challenge. You have to play shadow defense. Again, Reptic, if he was here, or if you find yourself in Reptic's position, I would recommend, for example, he's here. Now he's not facing the ball, as mentioned before. Then the front of his nose is not, the front of his car is not facing the car. So I understand that he changed ball cam to car cam, but again, I always recommend just rotate behind your teammates. Very nice touch by Horizon. Nice idea. Very nice touch. So what I recommend is generally, as if you get demoed, you should never go for a ball, right? Unless you see that you're in a good position. So anytime you guys, from now on, anytime you guys get demoed, call out where you spawn. For example, if you spawn left or right, let your teammates know, because there's no way they can know where you just spawned. So let them know spawned left, spawned right, so they can get an idea of where you are. So I remember here you called him off, Horizon, you told him this is my ball, and so Arcane let you go for it. So very nice, very well done. Here again, Horizon, you have time. So I understand you want to go for a double touch, but again, you could have, I don't say should have, but you could have, it's a possibility, taken your time a little bit more. So I'll switch back to Reptic here. So here now he's second man. So he's now facing away from the ball. So as I said, if you're facing away, you should immediately, he was in this position a little bit. So as soon as he sees the ball is going back, he should immediately start supporting the last man instead of cutting in position, just in case, you know, because you really never know what's gonna happen. So let me switch to you, Arcane.
Yeah, the messy touch there.
It's okay. So here, what I usually would do, for example, or what I would suggest is, nobody's challenged you so far. You have 100 boost. What you can do is you can turn around if you doubt yourself. If you're confident, then no problem. Even if you ended up not touching it the best way possible, it happens, right? We're human, you know. So, but what I'd recommend you to do in this position, since nobody's flying with the ball, nobody's following up the ball, you have some time. You have like 3-4 seconds. So what you can do is you can turn around, right? You can turn around, let the ball come towards you. You can either catch it and roll it up the wall since you have so much time, or you can turn around, let it bounce from the, for example, if it's going high, if it's, for example, hitting the backboard, you can either catch it on the backboard, or you can let it bounce from the backboard and then catch it. You can do whatever you want to do, up to you. But here you have time, so I would recommend you utilize it. Or you can envision. So what I mentioned before is you can envision the play a little bit. So here it's like, okay, it's coming, boom. So you see horizon rotating. So try to be like, even though if the pass doesn't end up working, if you start making it a habit, okay, I want to pass it somewhere left. I want to pass it to horizon. Or I want to clear it to the corner. Or I want to boom it straight to the corner. Have some intentions. And before you jump for this ball, try to envision it. Okay, I want to boom this directly towards their net. I want to pass it to horizon. I want to boom it to the right corner. I want to boom it to the left corner. I want to hit it in this. I want to hit it upfield so it hits their ceiling and bounces somewhere towards their net. It can be very simple or complex, up to you. But try to have intentions. Intentions are the most important thing, right? Because again, if you start having intentions behind your touches, as a team, as a complete team, you will have more. Generally, you have more control of the play. You'll have more control of the ball, even if you end up booming it. As long as you meant to boom it in a specific direction or specific way, then it means you're in control. Reptic ends up following up nicely. That was one hell of a read. I can't believe you read that. So let me switch to you. Arcane. So it's okay, you're first man. You went for the pinch, you read you. It's okay, you have teammates behind you. So same thing here. So you see how you cut into the play. So after you did your thing as first man, you tried to pinch it. It didn't work out. It's okay. It's life. It happens. Again, immediately, since now you're facing away from the ball, and the ball is technically on the left side of the field still, you immediately start rotating big. It doesn't need to be that big. You can take pads and start rotating behind horizon. Okay, so let me switch to Reptic's perspective here. I understand his urgency, right? But again, you have a teammate in the back post here. So here, horizon, I would say the same thing is you can't really risk it. You see how you came into the back post and then you rotated out, and now you're rotating into the middle of the net. So you're kind of in an not really in like a okay situation. You're not in the optimal position. So I understand you wanted to go and get some pads, but again, positioning is king. Positioning always is the most important. Again, now you're facing away from the ball. Anytime you're facing away, unless you're last man, then it's situational. But here you're going, you have low boost, you're facing away from the net, right? Unless your teammates tell you to go for horizon, go for it, you should not go for it, right? At all. So here you're facing away from the ball, you have low boost, there's a very low chance you're gonna hit this ball. And even if you hit this ball, with the situation, with the way you're facing and the amount of boost you have, it's gonna go somewhere to the midfield, which is technically a pass. So I just recommend just to leave it for your teammates. So let me go back here and see Arcane's position. So there we go, nice rotation. Yeah, so both of you are in the backboard. So what you guys can do is you can keep calling out your positions. For example, I'm going backboard, right? Because sometimes you get so invested in the game, because now like playing in the game itself and watching a replay are completely different things, right? Like it's not the same. You feel like everything is going like speed of 1000, you don't have as much time to make decisions, right? So it's okay. So that's why I usually say, especially if you're in comms, relay your positions. Okay, I'm gonna fake, I'm gonna rotate back post, I'm gonna fake, I'm gonna cut second man. Let each other know, help each other out. Just relay information. I'm going to backboard, I'm turning backboard, I'm already on the backboard, for example. So if Horizon, for example, if Reptic said I'm backboard, or he said Horizon, I'm backboard, Horizon maybe would have heard it and he would have left the ball for Reptic to touch. So you guys are technically, now this is a triple commit, right? Even though Arcane is not going for this ball, since all three of you are covering the same portion of the field, you guys are triple committing here. It doesn't matter if you go for the ball or no. Since if they shoot it, for example, from this position, which they can't really shoot now, they'll shoot like 2-3 seconds, they will challenge. Since you just, for example, in simple terms, the field is broken down into six areas, right? So just like this, just simply 6 areas, 3 defensive areas and 3 offensive areas. So all of you, you're on the border, right? Arcane, and then Reptic and Horizon, all of them are here. So you guys are technically triple committing, if not double committing. Okay? So what I recommend is, again, supporting each other, because at the end of the day, that's what works. So as soon as you see Arcane, for example, you did not expect. This is why I say always expect, especially for your teammates. Always expect that your teammates will hit the ball perfectly, and at the same time expect that they will miss the ball. So you position yourself in a way, if either this happens or that happens, you're good. You got your teammates covered. So here, hit the brakes. It's okay. Lose your momentum. You have 20 boosts. It's okay. You can save almost any ball, right? So instead of going forward here, what I recommend is just sit in the back post. If you want to preserve your momentum, right, what you can do is you can take a loop inside the goal. So you're like, okay, you're confident that either Reptic or Horizon is gonna hit this ball, right? You're sure. So you can start rotating inside of the goal, right? Keep your momentum, keep your speed. But if you're not sure, it's okay. Hit the brakes. See what happens, right? Rather than just going forward now. Now you see, now because you're a front post, you did not expect your teammates to challenge this ball. Now you've kept each other in awkward situations now, right? Now Arcane's like, oh crap, I'm front post now. They end up getting a really, really nice shot there. So let me go back here. So it's, by the way, it's never like one guy's mistake. Don't worry about it. It's always jumble. It's always a combination, 2-3 mistakes that eventually lead up to a goal. Like maybe I would say it's one guy's mistake if, for example, we're in the pro level, like RLCS level. But up until SSL, like with even semi-pro level, it's never one guy's mistake. It's a combination, always a combination of mistakes that leads to a goal. So always try to cover for each other as much as you can. As much as you can, try to cover for each other. So I want to see Reptic's perspective here. Okay, so he drove into the ball, so he just hit. He hit it with just a tiny bit too much power, and he ends up giving it away for free. So it's okay, it happens. Nice recovery. So let me switch to Horizon. So again, Horizon, you see how you cut into the middle? You have a lot of time here. You touched it, no problem. Happens. Nice, you're like, okay, I need to rotate back. You miss the pads, no problem. But always try to rotate back post. So here, you're like, okay, you see Arcane is in front of you, right? So what you can do is, if you feel like you have no time, no problem. You can rotate immediately back. If you feel like you have some time, you can go for one pad and then rotate. Or if you want to keep momentum, you can do a big loop and then you will keep your momentum this way. But if you feel like you don't have much time, but you still want the pad or the boost, you can just go and then immediately a sharp turn. Just sit in the net, see what happens, right? Rather than just cut into the middle of the goal. So immediately expect that Arcane cannot cover you here. There we go. I'm not saying if you were in the back post you would have 100% saved it, but you would have kept yourself in a much more comfortable situation. And keep in mind, when I say back post, why does everyone say back post? Not only because you have the whole net covered, right? Because you're in the back post, you're kind of like zoomed out. You know why? You can see your vision. You can see the whole field, or you can see the half of the field depending on where the ball is. So by being back post, you can see the opponents that are going to shoot the ball. You can see the opponents that are in the air. You can see the opponents that are going to shoot. But by being in the middle, the ball will come when opponents shoot it, the ball will come at a much sharper angle. It'll be very tough to read the situation. So by being in the back post, not only does it give you a higher chance of saving the ball by covering the entire net, but it also widens your vision, so you can guess, okay, this guy is going to shoot it approximately in this area. Or you just by having a wider vision, generally, it just helps you out a lot. Yeah. That was a really good shot by them. Let me check it out. So one recommendation, Arcane, here is, I understand that you want to trust your teammate. I'm not sure if you guys called it out left or not.
Yeah, I call
but
her back left, but I didn't expect it to go so high. In fact.
yeah, I understand. But again, that's why I said I understand that that you want to trust your teammates, but I always say when you go for the big boost, always turn towards the net and never away from the net, just in case things like this happen. Because again, you guys not conceding is more important than scoring. Okay, so even though, for example, let's say if he put it left, it's more important that you're in defensive position rather than offensive position. Because technically here you're last man. Since the first and second man both go, like the first guy goes for the kickoff and the second guy follows him up, right? So again, you being on defense is more important than offense. So if you would have turned towards the net rather than away from the net, you would have been in a much more comfortable position to save the shot.
I hate to be a fan, but I've got to go. It's late enough that for.
It's okay, bro.
But I'll play with you boys tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
To the late board.
GG's. Okay. So and here you have the boost. So as soon as you're half flipping here, I recommend, since you have no time, you just immediately start boosting. Keep boosting. Keep holding the boost so you can cover the back post as soon as possible. Oh, I hate that gold explosion. Hop, hop, hop. Nice kickoff. Okay. So you see how this is the third time Reptic has done the same type of touch. I don't mind, but again, it's high risk, low reward situation. So we'll go back a little bit. I want to switch to Horizon's
I
perspective.
believe I followed this ball.
So again, he had time here. So there's another general rule. I think I'm recording. So I just try to upload it on YouTube or something for you boys. But for example, in any of the four corners of the field, right, or right or left, on the right side or on the right or left side of the field, for example, especially on defense. In offense, it's optional, for example, but especially on defense, you never flip into the ball, right? Even if it's a pinch, it's too high risk, especially in trees, because the pinch can go wrong very easily, right? And as mentioned before, the more power you keep into the ball, right, the stronger the bounce will be. So it will have more height, more speed, and there's a chance it will bounce towards your own net, or there's a chance that it will go towards the opponents. But even if you look at it from his perspective, like you can't really pinch it directly from here towards your opponent's net. So there's two options you can do here. Either you drive into the ball, you don't flip, you don't jump, you just drive into it. But if you're afraid it's gonna go over your head, hit the brakes here. It's okay. Let it bounce to you, right? This guy is okay. He's gonna challenge you. You have the advantage, and you have teammates behind you. Even if you lose this challenge, it doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day, you just try to get the safest and the best possible touch. So hit the brakes here. Don't fully stop. Just decrease your speed. Let the ball bounce, and then go for a 50-50 or clear it, rather than try to go for a very weird pinch. I would say the same thing here as before. Is when you're going, you see now you're facing away from the net, right? For example, Arcane, you're in Horizon situation, for example. So always start immediately, switch from ball cam to car cam in this position, and see where your teammate is. You can clearly see that if he switch cams, you can clearly see that you want to go for this ball. So you should start rotating behind you and collect maybe 1 to 2 pads as he's going back. But here he turns right and then he turns left. He cuts you off.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see your perspective. Again, nice patience, nice demo dodge as well. Nice idea on the pass. There we go. You guys end up getting a really nice passing play. So let me switch to Reptic. Nice slide touch. This is what I mean. If you just drive into the ball, yes, you will hit the ball, but it will be much easier for you to follow up your own touch. You try to get double there, it doesn't happen. The opponents end up overcommitting and you end up punishing them very well. Nice kickoff. Real nice idea on the pass, but doesn't end up working out. Yeah. He probably couldn't tell that opponents are coming. So what I recommend here is just a recommendation is since Arcane you're outside of the play, right? You're not outside, you're like the last man. If you could just let them know, relay them like after he wins this challenge. This is why I say information is key, right? Information and positioning. So as you're here, you're waiting, you're last man, positioning very well. Collect information for your teammate, right? Move your joystick to the left. See how many people are coming to the ball or coming to the net. Be like 2 people from the left. Somebody's challenging you right now. Doesn't matter whatever the situation is. Try to relay out to each other. Try to relay out as much information as possible. I'm low on boost. Somebody's challenging you from the left. Take your time. You have space. You have time. I'm cutting. Just relay as much information as you can to each other. You're very close. Nice idea on the challenge. So let me look at it from their perspective. Why did they double commit in this ball? Okay, so this is none of their balls. since none of them are facing this, right? And if you're not facing the ball, unless you're last man, it's situational. Here they're not last man, you're last man, right? So he uses all this boost, right? I understand he cuts the ball, but now he can't really follow it up, right? He used all his boost and he got the touch, but now all the players are all like offensive. Your opponents now have enough time to go back. And here, real nice idea on Horizon's part. He's trying to pass it here. It doesn't end up working out because Reptic doesn't have the boost. It's okay though. It ends up missing. Reptic ends up getting a nice touch. Nice touch, Arcane. Very nice follow up. So we'll switch back here. You're being patient. You're taking your time. Very nice. Nice challenge as well. Okay, let me look at it from their perspective now. Okay, let me look at it from Horizon's perspective now.
He probably didn't see him go from the left.
Yeah, but he can tell. He can clearly tell that he wants to go for this ball. So again, communication is key. Like Reptic should be like, I'm going, right? And Horizon, even though, for example, if you guys were not in comms, he should extract himself away from the play. Like, take a second, stop looking at the ball, and start looking at your own teammates and opponents, and you can clearly see who wants to go for this ball, who's going to go for this ball, and who's not. And even like Reptic jumped before Horizon as well in this play. Like, look, there's a whole 1 second, 2 second of air time. It's okay, it happens though. When you're in the game, it's just different.
I think it's just a matter of how new the team is, and just overall we need to get used to each other's team.
Yeah. But if you can start the reason I keep pointing it out again and again is it applies to all players, right? Not just like trees. If you can start looking at each other's, like at your teammates' cars more and opponents more, again, you can collect more information and it will keep you in much better positions. Generally, it doesn't matter the rank or the game mode. So here, Arcane, you just saw both of them commit, right? And even if you didn't see, again, relaying information. If you guys double commit, let each other know. It doesn't matter. Maybe, for example, you from your angle, maybe you couldn't have seen that they double committed, right? So what Horizon and Reptic need to say is double commit. We double committed, both of them. We double committed. We went. So you know that you have to buy time. You have to be playing defensive position. You have to wait. You have to buy them time to go get boost and position. Okay. So let me switch to Reptic's perspective. Okay, you really can't do anything from this. Let me switch to Horizon. Again, you see how when you cut into the middle of the goal, how like the ball comes from a much sharper angle. Like, look at this. We cut into the middle. It's a very sharp angle now. Like if he just took 1 second extra, right? He took the pads very well. If he was just here, right? It's never 100% chance that he's going to save this ball, right? But he would have had a much higher chance if he just rotated into the back post rather than into the middle of the goal or the front post. He would have had a wider vision. The ball would have come in front of him rather from his side, right? For example, if he's positioned like this, the ball will be in front of him, correct? But by positioning like this, the ball is coming from the side of his car. So it comes at a much more sharper angle. It's much more difficult to save. Very close. So yeah, Horizon should have not gone for the boost there. Yeah, I should have just rotated back. It's okay, it happens. Nice slight touch by Reptic. Again, Horizon's rotating into the play. So for example, he took the boost, right? So what Horizon should do right now, so...
Go to the middle.
Exactly. So where is Horizon? Mr. Star Horizon. So here, as soon as he recognizes his teammate is going to the left, again, you automatically rotate opposite side of the net. You cover just in case Reptic gets challenged in the corner. You start turning opposite side of the ball's direction. So the ball is going to the left side, you start rotating opposite, start rotating right, rather than left as well. So it ends up with a double commit. Ends up with an, I think they end up pinching it. Even if they ended up pinching it, again, very high risk because Reptic can miss this ball or he can touch it very awkwardly. And there's no one to cover for each other, right? There's no one to cover. There we go. And that's game, GG's. So hopefully I was able to explain everything well. Oof.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it's so much. Like this is like just the tip of the iceberg. By the way, there is still so much more information I wanted to say, but it's a good start. It's like a good package, you know. It's a good initial package. Like what I mentioned right now, it's fundamentals, right? Like if any player masters, even me myself, obviously, if I would have mastered, I would be like a pro or SSL. So it takes time, definitely. So if you just fundamentals, just fundamentals, rotations, mechanics, just fundamental things, you can just be all good, you know. Just elevate your level of gameplay to another level, man. So yeah.
I mean, no one ever told me like to. They never appointed these points for me, so I've never really stood still. So it will definitely help me getting more focused on it.